All right, let's talk about maybe the biggest question there is. Where did all of this come from? We're going to piece together a cosmic puzzle, following the clues that led scientists to our best, most mind-blowing explanation for how the entire universe began. I mean, just stop and think about that. Every single star you see, every planet, our own galaxy, and the billions of other galaxies out there, it had to have a beginning, right? For most of history, that was a question for myths and philosophy. But then, about 100 years ago, things started to change. We started finding clues, real, physical evidence that was written right into the fabric of space itself. So our investigation starts with the very first piece of the puzzle. And funnily enough, it wasn't found by someone looking for the beginning of everything. It was found by an astronomer who was just, well, he was just looking at galaxies. Right, so in the 1920s, this astronomer, Edwin Hubble, was spending his nights peering through what was then one of the most powerful telescopes on Earth. He wasn't on some grand quest for cosmic origins. He was just trying to map the universe. But in doing that, he stumbled onto something that would completely flip our understanding of everything on its head. He noticed something really, really weird. Almost every single galaxy he looked at was moving away from us. It was like we were sitting in the middle of a cosmic explosion where everything was flying outwards. This was a total bombshell. See, up until then, most scientists thought the universe was the static, unchanging place. Hubble proved it wasn't. It's active, it's dynamic, and it's getting bigger. So how in the world could he tell? It's not like he could see these galaxies getting smaller. The secret, incredibly, was hidden inside the light they were sending us. Hubble had a trick up his sleeve, a way to decode the messages hidden in starlight. It all comes down to a phenomenon called spectral shifting. You know how an ambulance siren sounds. As it comes towards you, the pitch is really high, right? And then as it passes and moves away, the pitch drops way down. Well, light does something really similar. When a galaxy is speeding away from us, the waves of light it emits get stretched out. And when those light waves get stretched, they shift toward the red end of the light spectrum. We call this redshift. Now, if a galaxy were moving toward us, its light waves would get squished, and they'd shift toward the blue end. But Hubble looked out, and what did he see? A universe full of red-shifted galaxies. The conclusion was unavoidable. Everything was moving apart. And this is the mental leap that changed everything. If the whole universe is expanding, like a giant explosion in slow motion, what happens if you run the film backward? Everything would come rushing back together, right? Back to a single point. Now, hold that thought, because another huge clue is about to drop. And this one was found completely by accident. Okay, let's jump forward a few decades to our second clue. This one wasn't found by looking at faraway galaxies, but by listening to the supposedly empty space between them. So you have these two astronomers in the 1960s, and they're trying to use this giant radio antenna. But they keep getting this annoying, persistent, static hiss in their equipment, and it drove them crazy. No matter where they pointed the antenna in the sky, the hiss was there. It was everywhere, totally uniform. They even cleaned out pigeon droppings from the antenna, thinking that that was the problem. But it wasn't pigeons. It was something from the cosmos. It didn't take long for scientists to realize what this hiss actually was. It was ancient energy, a faint afterglow of heat left over from a time when the entire universe was unbelievably hot and dense. It's like feeling the last bit of warmth from a bonfire that went out 13.8 billion years ago. This discovery was just monumental. So now we've got two huge clues. Clue number one, the universe is expanding in all directions. Clue number two, there's a faint, ancient heat and afterglow coming from everywhere in space. So what's the one story, the one theory that could possibly explain both of these bizarre facts? The answer is the Big Bang Theory. It proposes that about 13.8 billion years ago, everything, and I mean everything, all of space, all of time, all matter and energy was squeezed into a single, infinitesimally small, unimaginably hot point. And then it began to expand. And this is the beauty of it. The theory solves our puzzle perfectly. That expanding universe Hubble saw, well, that's just the ongoing result of that initial cosmic event. And that mysterious static hiss, the cosmic microwave background, that's the leftover heat. It's the literal echo of the Big Bang that has cooled down over billions and billions of years of expansion. It all just clicks into place. So the Big Bang isn't just about a single moment of creation. It actually gives us a timeline. It lets us tell the epic story of our universe from its very first fractions of a second all the way to today.
Okay, so here's the story in Shao fast forward. It all bursts from a single point. In the first few minutes, as it expands and cools at an insane rate, the simplest elements, think hydrogen and helium, are born. For the next 380,000 years, the universe is just this hot, opaque fog. Then it cools enough for light to finally break free, and that light is the afterglow, the CMBR we still detect today. A billion years or so later, gravity starts doing its thing, pulling all that matter together to form the very first stars and galaxies. And that whole process of expansion, it's still happening right now.
That is a grand story. But you might be thinking, what does some 13.8 billion-year-old event have to do with me, sitting here right now? Well, as it turns out, absolutely everything. You see, that initial Big Bang only created the simplest stuff in the universe, mostly hydrogen and helium. But the heavier elements, the things we need for life, the carbon in your DNA, the oxygen you're breathing, the iron in your blood, none of that was made in the Big Bang. It was all forged in the fiery hearts of giant stars, which lived, died, and then exploded, scattering those life-giving elements across the cosmos. Just let that sink in for a second. The actual physical atoms that make up your body were once inside a star that died billions of years ago. We are, quite literally, made of recycled stardust. The famous astronomer Carl Sagan put it perfectly. We are star stuff. So the Big Bang isn't some far-off, abstract idea from a physics textbook. It's our origin story. It's everyone's shared origin story. It's written in the expansion of space, it's glowing in that faint microwave background, and it's inside every atom of your body. The Big Bang Theory managed to solve an incredible mystery. But of course, in science, every answer just leads to more exciting questions. Questions about things like dark matter and dark energy. The cosmic story is still being written. The puzzle is far from complete. And who knows? The next revolutionary clue could be found tomorrow. Thanks for taking this cosmic journey with me.